Lance Hall here for Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. Happy to welcome Todd and Mark of the band AD 2020. Todd, the drummer, Mark, the vocalist. How you guys doing?
We're doing well, Lance. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Doing
Chime in here as
fantastic.
well, Mark, so we know your voice.
Yeah, we're doing fantastic. Thank you. Yes.
Excellent. Of course, the album we're talking briefly there off air comes out August 10th. Lockdown Diaries. Pre-sales August 1st. I've heard a couple of tracks. Your first single came out, Undivided, back in January. Great message there. And we were talking a little bit how you wanted to do something inspiring and positive and everything. And I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was written during the height of the pandemic last summer. We were watching, what was going on in basically in the streets of the US and to another extent around the world. And yeah, it was a great message song, a great anthem. Dan Reed, who we collaborated with it on it, the first time I heard it back, I had chills, and I was like, wow, man, this is just a great anthem. So we're real proud of it.
I love the layered vocals on that. I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah.
A lot of tracks there.
There's a ton. Musically, there's a lot of music going on. Originally, we weren't going to put a lot of keyboards on the album, but it was one of those things. We had some connections with Derek Sherinian from Dream Theater, the keyboard player, and when you have that sort of talent pool available, to not use it, it's crazy. So we ended up, Derek just nailed it on the tracks that he plays on and stuff. But yeah, the layered vocals thing, it kind of had a little bit of a Beatles vibe to me when we were recording the song and playing it. I got to do my best sort of Ringo impression with some of the drum fills and things like that. And we even did a little phase shift type thing with the vocals in the middle part and stuff. So it's modern, but at the same time, we're tipping our hats to what previously has come before us.
Right. It's got those classical elements. Mark, did you have a good time singing that on that one?
Oh, absolutely. I always do. I love doing what I do. It was kind of fun because, the demos and everything like that we put together at a home system. And then, I drove to a studio and got to sing through some equipment that I could not afford. I mean, this stuff was just amazing. And, having the opportunity to sing through that, laying a few harmony tracks here and there and a couple vocal lines. I did those takes in a couple days for the entire album, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was, it would have been a little bit more exciting to have everybody on board, in the studio at the same time.
Right.
But it also gave me some freedom to, the attention was actually put on the vocals at the point when I was alone in the studio. Well, Todd, you were there.
Yeah.
But it gave me a chance to actually just concentrate on that part.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
Cool. You mentioned having Derek Sherinian play keys. How did you get Bumblefoot on this as well?
So if you'd like, I can go ahead and just kind of run down, the progression, how things happened with the album. So I would say it was 2019. Mark and I we went out to Colorado to check out Kiss. There was a Kiss show that was out there, and we got backstage passes and everything. We're hanging out, and we were doing some sightseeing, and we went up to Red Rocks the one day, and we were hanging out at Red Rocks just talking about things, and we decided that let's do an original album if we can. We've played a lot with other bands, the different things. Mark's done some original stuff. I did a lot of sessions over the years, and I was like, okay, if we're gonna do this, I want to bring in the best people possible, the best producer I can find that can work with us and that sort of thing. So the seeds were planted in like 2019 during the pandemic. Dan Reed, who I'm a good friend with, and I were talking about some other business things that we have going on together. And I asked him, during those conversations, I said, look, while everybody's home, nobody's touring and whatever, I'd love to be able to do an album. I'd love to be able to do it for a bunch of different reasons. I'd love to be able to, put some money back into people's pockets that are home that aren't making anything because they're touring and whatever. And that was just kind of how it started. And he said, well, that's a great idea. Who are you going to get? I said, well, if you want to write songs with us, I said, I'll reach out. I said, I know Greg Smith. I know he's home right now. And I'd met Greg a year prior.
Yeah.
And then Bumblefoot, I had been listening to his album quite a bit during the lockdown. He did a couple of acoustic albums that were, recorded during the lockdown, were my favorites. And I had met Ron about a year prior at an event that Carl Palmer had did in Pennsylvania. So I called Ron, and he remembered me, and we talked a little bit. And the end of the call, I said, okay, well, we don't really have anything to play yet. I'll be back in a few weeks. We'll get some demos together. So it was a second call, and I played him the demos on the second call, and he still wasn't committed at that point. And so finally, it was a few weeks later that I called him again, and I played him the demos and where we were at with everything. And I think he sensed that we were legit, and he sensed that we were, really wanting to do this. And it was just a great, it was just a great experience all the way around.
Yeah. I got to interview him a number of years ago, and I'll give you a bit of Bumblefoot trivia if you want to ask him about.
Go ahead.
His parents, when Barry Manilow was a toddler, babysat Barry Manilow.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I will ask him that.
I asked that. He's like, where'd you hear that? And I'm like, Ron, it's on the internet, where everything is. I said, I want to know if it's true or not. And he said it was.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Your other players in this band, I was looking at some of the people that they had played with. You got Melvin Brandon Jr., who had played time with Stevie Salas, who I love. Yes. Bullet Boys, Booker T and the MGs. Greg Smith had played with Billy Joel, Tommy James, Alan Parsons. I mean, wow.
Yeah, the talent pool is amazing. So Greg was kind of came on board, and I love all the guys at Dan Reed Network. I'm friends with those guys. Yeah. What I didn't want to do, I didn't want people to think I was pulling the players out of Dan Reed Network for this project or whatever. And I was very sensitive to that. However, Melvin, who's a good friend of mine, I've known him for about 30 years. He had heard some of the demos with Dan, and he said to Dan, I'd love to play on some of this stuff. Ask Todd if he wants me to play on anything. So when I heard that, we were at a point where we were cutting a ballad for the album. And it just, the album, it has Dan Reed influence on it, but it also has a lot of influences from everybody. Everybody had, pretty much a clean sheet of paper to create their parts and bring what they bring to the table. But Dan's a producer. He was a key writer on the material. So it has a vibe. And so we ended up having Melvin play on a ballad called No Regrets. And he just blew it out of the park. And he also plays bass on the cover that we did, Why Can't We Be Friends by War. Greg plays electric bass, and Melvin plays upright bass. So it's kind of a Spinal Tap thing going on there.
Sure.
But it's just amazing how it all came together. Just the musicality that Melvin has and what he brought to it. It was just, it's amazing. So we actually have two bass players on one song.
Nice. Now, Mark, with you being a vocalist, did you have lyric wise? Did the lyrics come, or were you able to chip in some, or how did that work out with you singing?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I have stacks. I've got thousands of them that I've written over the years, and just kind of looking through some of the material. I mean, some of it was brand new. Some of it was, I think, one of the songs I pulled from a project a long time ago, a little bit more of a metal type project, and I shared those with Dan. What I looked for was the right meanings, the right for the time. I mean, we're sitting here in 2020, unsure about anything, unsure about the future period, and so I tried to find the right music, or the right lyrics, and the stuff that I think Dan would appreciate and as well. So with him critiquing it and looking it over and stuff like that. I mean, even we started fresh. I mean, we started fresh with the one song Hard Drive. I mean, that was brand new. I think I had 3 takes of that. Wow. Before I could get a stamp of approval from everybody on it. I'm very particular. I want everybody to read it over and make sure it's legit. Some musicians don't really care about the words. They just care about the music. Right. In this case, I think everybody really chipped in to, and agreed that it was all, it passed, it passed the test. So we took that Yeah, the lyrics. There was 3 songs there that I was involved in, mostly in writing the lyrics and contributing with the melody lines and whatnot. Not only sang that material and laid some harmonies too. And yeah, I really I thought it was right for the album. You know,
I
it was the right
understand
choice for the album.
Ricochet started out as a metal song.
It did. As a matter of fact, Ricochet was, some guys I played with for a number of years around central Pennsylvania and the Hershey area.
Mm.
We actually, it was pretty heavy. And with the slamming drums, the double bass and the heavy guitar work and everything, I mean, it kind of just he got buried. The whole meaning of the song just got buried in all that music, that was more the music. It seemed to have lost the appeal that I think that song should have had, for me. So it never really got released. It never got recorded to a point where we were going to put it out, as a studio recording or anything like that. We kind of just put it on the back burner and moved on to other things. But I always liked the song. I always liked its meaning, and that was one I pulled out of the archives. And I figured we're not doing anything with it. I'm gonna present it to the AD 2020 project, and I'm glad I did, because it came out the way it did, and it has great meaning.
Yeah. Fascinating video for that as well, Todd. That was your idea, correct?
So it was. So it's interesting. We didn't work together on a lot of this stuff, and we were moving fast, and it was like we wrote songs, and then we got some studio time scheduled and that sort of stuff, but there's a lot that goes into it. So we wrote songs, and then all of a sudden I got busy on business stuff, website presence, all that stuff that we're doing there. And so when I was listening to the song Ricochet and writing my drum parts to it and different things, I never asked Mark, what is the song about? We were just moving so fast. And so I had to recreate kind of Dan's vibe from the demos, and I wrote the drum parts. And to me, I'm hearing this sort of tumbleweed Southwest feel to the song. And I actually put in some little metallic Ricochet sounds in the middle that are just like some splash cymbals and stuff that it kind of sounds like bullets hitting metal and stuff. That's what was in my head when we were doing the song.
Yeah.
And we did a video. We had a couple different people submit some video ideas to us. And the first one, we kind of went down the path of, the sort of the Southwest theme, and it just didn't fly. It wasn't what I was looking for. So I thought, let's go in another direction. We tried another approach, and that didn't really sit with me. It was something I'd seen 1,000 times. So I went back to Mark. I said, maybe I need to just talk to Mark about what the song is about. Maybe I'm missing something. So Mark and I talked, and he can elaborate a little bit more about what the meaning of the song is about. And so I came out of that with the idea that we have to get the video done. We're limited because we can't get together to do this stuff. So we're limited to a sense. We have to choose stock footage. And so I found a crew that could do what we wanted to do. And they gave us a really cool Southwest, gunslinger type theme for the song. Yeah. But I totally missed the meaning of the song.
I heard this in one other interview, but Mark, I would love to hear it again, because I think it's a fantastic message in this song.
Well, it's funny that even though the message may have been missed in the video, it still works, because anybody, music is music, and it's not really designed. It's designed for people to dream and to vision what they want to vision in a song. Think about what they want to think about as they hear a lyric or hear a chorus or something like that. In this particular case, it's like we're in a dark place. We're in a really dark place, and we, and this particular person, so to speak, or soul cannot find the light. It keeps searching for it. So it's ricocheting back and forth off all negativity to try to find the light. And toward the end of the song, it is finding that light, finding that positiveness, finding that spiritual wholeness that keeps us moving. And so it's basically, dealing with a wide variety of time, so to speak.
Yeah. Great stuff. Now you had all these tracks, to these songs that, as we talked about file sharing and everybody doing everything. And then is this where your mixer, Ron, I don't dare to say his last name, I would probably butcher it.
We called him Ron D. We had Ron T as in Ron Thal, and then we had Ron D. It's Ron D. Silvestro.
Yeah. Was he someone you had worked with in the past?
No, basically Ron was someone I had met probably 6 or 7 months before the pandemic started, and has had a really good reputation of getting great drum sounds. And I went down and I toured his studio, met him, listened to some of his work, and I was like, wow, he really knows his way around the studio. He knows his way around drum sounds. So his information was in the back of my head. We had some other options as well. But we were also looking at, again, as we were putting this all together, we didn't know what was going to end up, where things were going to go. Originally, the US was open, even at the beginning of the pandemic. It was open for a while. And there was a chance that Dan Reed was going to actually come over from Prague and be with us to go through the recording process of these songs. And as the pandemic moved on, that window closed. And so we chose Philadelphia as kind of our hub to record out of and work out of. Because it was close to New Jersey for Bumblefoot. It was also close to where Greg lives. And we thought if we need to bring them down to the studio, or if they want to come down and track anything, it's central for everyone. So it was that, figured into it. Plus also, previous work that we had reviewed of Ron's. Yeah. That led to him coming on board.
Very cool. Cover art, you went with Renee, is it Reeser?
Yeah, Renee Reeser. So yeah, Renee's a friend of the family, so to speak, goes back about 30 years and has just done some amazing graphics work, with, Fortune 100 companies and different things along those lines. And we had some conversations about artwork, and Mark and I talked about it. We could have either went, very, very simple, or we go very elaborate. And, when it came time to make the decisions, we decided to go elaborate, but yeah, I think she just nailed it with the packaging and just everything that we have going on with this release.
Great stuff. Do we have any more 7 tracks on the album? Do we have any more singles coming out before, or these first 2 are what we're going to get before it comes out?
No. So we're going to have a video is going to come out on August 1st. And that is going to be Why Can't We Be Friends? That's already filmed. It's done. It's in the can. That'll be coming out August 1st. And we're probably in September, we will have one more follow-up single off the album. We haven't chosen what that's going to be yet.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's more in the works.
Things are sort of starting to open up a little bit, kind of, maybe. We've got this Delta variant now.
Yeah.
Have you guys been able to put any type of live anything together yet, or is that sort of on a holding pattern?
We're on a holding pattern. People ask us, are you guys going to play together, and and that sort of thing. And I think what I like to joke around with and just say is we're the non-traveling Wilburys.
Okay.
It's kind of where we're at. We're going to definitely get back into playing, and I know like Greg's out playing. He's doing some things. Dan Reed, Ron Thal. Melvin's doing a little bit of work, but Dan and Ron, I don't think they're doing much right now until next year. For me personally, it's going to be next year as well, just because there's a lot going on. I've been living and breathing the album since March of 2020. Right. So once it comes out and we get through the initial cycles of everything, I'll probably take a little time off, and then I'll get back into getting myself ready to play gigs again. Yeah.
Now, Mark, I'll direct this question to you because, to keep his chops up, Todd can play drums, the guitars can play guitar, stuff like that. A singer's got to sing, your voice is your muscle. How are you keeping yourself in shape through all this?
I sing almost every day. Since this project, I actually have started my own little recording gear. I have my own recording gear at home. So I go home and I'll record stuff, whether it be a cover song or something original that I've created, but I do it constantly so that I do stay in shape. I try to keep myself physically in shape the best that I can so that I'm ready. I'm ready to go when the time's right. I'm ready. And I love to do it. I love to sing. So, even if it's just for home pleasure, I do it just to stay sharp, or stay in key or in pitch.
Do you have a certain go-to song that you warm up with, or does it vary by the mood in the day?
Oh my gosh, I love everything. I mean, I'm so inspired by music from the '70s to current. I mean, I mean, it's everything from Kansas to Journey to Styx to, you know, uh, Triumph. I mean, Dokken. Yeah, I mean, you name it. I mean, I love all bands. I mean, Dream Theater, whatever I get a hold of that sounds good to me or has a good feel, I go for it. You know what I mean? I'll sit
Yeah.
down and I'll write out the lyrics or whatever the case may be, or type them up on the computer and just sing along. Sing along with some of my favorites. I mean, there's a lot of great talent out there. And I love it all. I've been doing it that way for years.
I once read an article, I think, on Sinatra. When he approached a song, he would sort of read the lyrics almost like as if it was a story, and then he would kind of just recite them and try and find the right vibe, I guess, or way of going about it. I'm sorry, my dogs are making a cameo here. I hope my son's going to get him calmed down here in a second. What's your approach when you're handed a new song that you've never sung, and you've either written lyrics or somebody's given you lyrics? What's your approach to interpreting the vocal?
Well, in my case, I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's something that I first like, or something that has caught my ear or caught my attention somehow, and I'll take that and I'll see first if it has true meaning. I mean, that's what's important to me. What's the point of this? Why is this song? Does this song have good meaning? I mean, it's always been my go-to is to find those types of songs. Does it move me? Does it move me inside, spiritually? And if it does that, then it's worth the time to actually sit down and really study it and listen to it and see what's happening. And and it's usually a singer that has a good voice on that stuff. I like to hear that stuff, and and try to see where I compare,
Sure.
to keep me in check. So and this recording, it's great to actually record this stuff. Like if you find a karaoke track or something like that, you know what I mean, and just lay that in. Lay that in as a background and just sing lead over that stuff and listen back to it. It doesn't lie. I mean, it's telling you, yeah, okay, that works for you, or no, that's not your cup of tea. You better back off of that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it keeps me in check, to record and actually listen to what's going on.
Do you remember what was one of the first songs you sang?
Oh man, I'm looking back, honestly, it's funny. I was having a conversation with another a while back, and I remember the Tooth and Nail album from Dokken, way back when it first came out. I mean, I love Don's voice, and I probably rolled through that entire thing, learned every single lick, every single note. And I mean, that was just one of hundreds that I love so much. But and you mentioned an unfamiliar piece of music. If something is handed to me like that, again, it actually, I don't turn down anything unless it's something that really has no meaning, or it's just an absolute joke. That's not for me. I have to stick to my guns and stick to my roots. So but I mean, looking back, I mean, it's always been anything from like Bad Company. I've always liked Bad Company. Paul Rogers and stuff that he does has always been one of my favorite singers. Good bluesy feel with that stuff.
Awesome. Todd, you've been playing drums since you were about 12. Do you remember the first song you learned drums to?
Oh my. So yeah, I grew up, I was the youngest. I had older brothers and sisters, so I inherited their record collection. So I grew up with all the, to an extent, 60s and maybe like some of the stuff from the 50s even, my older brothers. So yeah, probably something from the Rolling Stones or the Beatles. Yeah. I'm going to say probably like Honky Tonk Woman, Jumpin' Jack Flash, something in that vein, I would think. Yeah.
Excellent. Talking with Todd and Mark here from AD 2020, their album Lockdown Diaries coming out August 10th. Independent release? Is this you guys? Or are you guys on the label?
Totally independent. We're independent. Yeah. It's we make more money this way, I think. That's what they tell me. We'll see. But no, it's, we pitched to a couple different labels, didn't quite get the deals that we were looking for. So yeah, we're independent. So
okay. Website stores coming soon though, right?
Yes. Yeah. We're working with a company. We're working with a company based out of Poland, Merch 8 or 8 Merch. I forget. I always get them flipped. But they're going to be doing the store for us. They do a lot of bands, and they're going to be providing worldwide, shipping and distribution for everything for us. So it's coming.
I got to ask, you mentioned, making Philly your hub, and you guys are down in that Pennsylvania area. What is it about Pennsylvania with fantastic musicians and fantastic quarterbacks? Yeah.
I can speak about the musicians probably. So, yeah, I mean, Philly has a really, really cool music scene, always has. I mean, we bordered Jersey and there's bands that, obviously have come over from Jersey as well. Philly, there's that Philly soul, and that's been around, and, Hall and Oates and just that whole scene down in Philly. We're blue collar, man. It's a blue collar state, It's a blue collar state. Everybody loves their rock and roll, their cheesesteaks, and we're not afraid to work.
Definitely not. Guys, I always like to end with just some silly, fun questions. I am hoping these are questions maybe neither one of you have ever been asked before. Sound good?
Go ahead, hit us.
All right,
let's
Mark.
try it.
Mark, what is one basic item you always have to throw in your travel bag when you're going out on tour?
Well, that's going to be a bottle of Listerine.
Okay. Todd, how about you? Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I cut you off. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark. Finish your thought.
I'm good. That's all. Gum, Listerine, one of the two. Yep.
Yeah, no, I have a bag that goes with me. I mean, it's got everything, the repair kit, the medical kit, everything but a defibrillators in there, I think, so that's what I take with me.
All right, Todd, if you could speak any language that you don't speak now instantly, what language would you pick?
I got to go back to my roots, man. My family's Hungarian. So, the only thing that I can say in Hungarian is, stuffed cabbage, that's it.
How about you, Mark?
Spanish. I think Spanish.
All right. Mark, what is a day off from music like for you? If you're not going to do anything musical, what would you do on that day? What do you do on that day?
I would have to entertain myself with a movie or something.
All right.
But of course there's music involved. Yeah.
All right. Todd, how about you?
Yeah, it's funny. I don't get a lot of days off. I mean, days off from music, but then I'm usually involved in something else, going on. But no, I like my downtime at home, and I have property here that I tinker around with things and love to be outside when I can be outside. So yeah, that's kind of my best day.
All right, yeah. Todd, favorite old school wrestler?
Oh, great one. I just watched Andre the Giant's documentary. Tremendous amount of respect for somebody who could drink that much beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Absolutely.
All right. Mark, how about you?
I have to go back to the Four Horsemen, what was his name? Lex Luger?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Was that his name? Lex Luger, man. I love those guys, man. They killed it back in the day. I love those
Ric
guys.
Flair, yeah. Arn Anderson, those guys are fantastic.
Yeah, the Four Horsemen, man. They were entertainment to me. Yeah.
And Pennsylvania was huge for pro wrestling. I never realized that. Allentown, which is about, half an hour north of where I'm from, was kind of, critical to getting that whole professional wrestling thing on the map. I never knew that, but yeah, Allentown, Pennsylvania, had so much to do with putting professional wrestling on the map in the U.S.
Absolutely. Last one. This is the one we have the most fun with. Todd, if they were to make a biopic of your life, what actor would you pick to play you in the movie? And it's your movie, your life. You can pick anyone.
That's a great one. So everybody tells me it's Danny Aiello everywhere I go. Oh, you look like Danny Aiello. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Danny Aiello.
All right. How about you, Mark?
Oh man, are we talking a look-alike?
What? It's your movie, your life. You can pick anybody.
Oh man, Patrick Swayze.
All right, there you go. Go big or go
Roadhouse.
home, right?
That's right. I mean, that's not me, but we'll go with that.
All right. Gentlemen, has there been anything that you didn't get to chat about? Anything I didn't get to ask you that you would have liked to have gotten a word in? The floor is yours for the moment.
Go ahead, Mark.
I got nothing right now, bro.
Nothing.
I'm
Okay.
speechless.
No, we're good. I mean, again, just wanted to say thank you to you, Lance, for, having us. Thanks to everybody on our team that's just working hard to help us with the record. Again, thank you so much to everybody that's part of the record. Dan, Melvin, Ron, Greg, Derek, we can't thank them all enough. We're just very happy, to be part of the project and have them working with us. So yeah, just thanks to everybody and again, and all the people that are following us on social media and stuff. We can't do it without you. We definitely need you guys to help us. So yeah, we appreciate it.
The band is AD 2020. The album is Lockdown Diaries. It's coming out August 10th. We've been talking to Todd and Mark here for Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. Fun times, fellas. Hope to do this again sometime.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you, Lance.
Sounds good.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.